Hey, what's up, everybody? So I ended up, setting up my Samsung Galaxy S20 Fan Edition in the same exact way as my regular Galaxy S20, and then I ended up using it for little over a week so that I can give you a more detailed comparison between the two phones. So before we get into the detailed comparison, let me just give you a quick rundown of the specifications and the differences between them, and I'll try to highlight the differences between the two devices. So the first thing is the price. So the S20, the regular one, is $1,000. That is $999. The S20 Fan Edition is $699. But both of these phones were kind of available for a pre-order, and it takes $100 off. So at the time of launch, the regular Galaxy S20 could be purchased for $899, and the S20 Fan Edition could be bought for $599. I think the pre-orders are still going on, so it's still at $100 discount, so you can get it for less than $600. But either way you see it, there's at least a $400 price difference between the two phones. Now let's take a quick look at the specifications and the major differences between them. So the first thing that I want to talk about is probably the camera. Okay, so in terms of the rear camera, the S20 Fan Edition here retains the same triple camera setup as that of the regular Galaxy S20, but there is a difference. So this one ditches the 64 megapixel telephoto camera module for an 8 megapixel module, and it however still retains the 3x optical zoom and the 30x hybrid zoom, which Samsung likes to call as space zoom. In terms of the front or selfie cameras, the S20 Fan Edition actually gets a spec bump. So it's actually a 32 megapixel camera with the smallest hole punch ever in any Samsung phone. The regular Galaxy S20 has a 10 megapixel front camera. So other than this hardware difference, the one thing that the cheaper S20 Fan Edition drops compared to the more expensive regular S20 is the 8K video recording capabilities. So this one maxes, this one maxes at 8K 24 frames per second. So this is the regular Galaxy S20. The S20 Fan Edition caps out at 4K at 60 frames per second. Now, the next thing that I want to compare is obviously the difference in the display size. So the S20 Fan Edition comes with a 6.5-inch Super AMOLED flat FHD Plus screen, and the regular S20 has a 6.2-inch Dynamic AMOLED 2X, the QHD Plus curved display. Because of the larger size and the lower resolution, the S20 Fan Edition drops the pixel density to 405 ppi compared to the regular Galaxy S20, where it is 563 ppi. Apart from these differences, there are a few things which is similar. One is thankfully the cheaper S20 Fan Edition retains the high refresh rate at 120 Hz, like its more expensive brother, the regular S20. And also this phone retains the in-screen fingerprint scanner. Now let's talk about the battery size. So the S20 Fan Edition is the bigger phone, and it also bumps up the battery capacity to 4500 milliamp hour compared to the 4000 milliamp hour battery found in the regular Galaxy S20. In terms of weight, the S20 Fan Edition weighs about 190 grams versus the 163 grams on the regular Galaxy S20. In terms of material differences, so the S20 Fan Edition still retains the metal frame, but replaces the glass black on the regular Galaxy S20 with that of a textured plastic black, and you can find like it comes in 6 different colors. But fortunately, Samsung doesn't compromise in taking out any of the other features like the IP68 water and dust resistance rating. So both the phones are same in terms of water and dust resistance and its ratings. Also, the S20 Fan Edition retains wireless charging, reverse wireless charging, exactly same like that of the regular Galaxy S20. Now, coming to processing power, both of these phones are powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 processor. However, the RAM on the S20 Fan Edition is half at 6 gigabytes versus the 12 gigabytes of RAM on the regular Galaxy S20. But 6 gigabytes of RAM in itself is actually flagship specs, so I don't see it as a big problem. So now in terms of processing power, both of these phones are powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 processor, but the S20 Fan Edition gets only 6 gigabytes of RAM. That's exactly half of the 12 gigabytes that's found on the regular Galaxy S20. Both of these phones, however, also support 5G. So there is a more expensive version for the S20 Fan Edition. It's meant for Verizon, which supports the millimeter wave. But both of these phones support the regular models. So they both of them are. Now, in terms of conclusions, the overall performance of this phone, right? So when I compared the camera capability of this phone versus the $400 more expensive regular Galaxy S20, honestly, I couldn't see a difference. It is so close that it's almost like splitting hairs. Now, in terms of day-to-day performance, I know this has only 6 gigabytes of RAM versus the 12 gigs that's found on the regular Galaxy S20, but I haven't played any games. But for my daily day-to-day usage, I couldn't tell a difference in performance between the two phones. They are, if at all, they would be so close again, like it would be like trying to split hairs. Now, I do like the flatter and larger screen. I mean, 6.5 inch is the maximum that I would do. I don't really, if it was 6.7 inch, I wouldn't probably have considered this phone. But I think at 6.5 inch, this is a really good size. And then the flat screen is again fantastic. It's not only easier to hold the phone, it's not only easier to see the text on that. I just don't like the gimmick of having a curved display, which has nothing other than cosmetic, which I consider other than a cosmetic gimmick. It doesn't add any function or any other advantage to it. And then for being a flat screen, it's easier to find any kind of screen protector that I want to have on the phone. Now, the in-screen fingerprint scanner seems to have improved on the Fan Edition. I don't know if they are using the same technology or not, but overall, it's easier for me to unlock the S20 Fan Edition versus the regular Galaxy S20. Now, the other thing is the bigger battery. Even though this has a slightly larger screen and a slightly larger battery, overall battery performance on the Fan Edition has been spectacular. So even with the high refresh rate turned on and 5G turned on, I could get about 6 to 7 hours of screen on time. With everything turned off on my regular Galaxy S20, like even like high refresh rate, turning down the screen resolution to FHD plus instead of QHD plus, and then turning off 5G. I mean, it only gets like a decent battery life with probably around in between 2 to 3 hours of screen on time. No such problems on this Fan Edition. I have everything turned on, and even with that, I have consistently gotten about 6 hours of screen on time. So overall, battery life on this phone is a lot better than the regular Galaxy S20. Now there are few complaints about the build quality. So even though this is plastic back and I don't have any problems about the, for the back being plastic, but where this plastic meets the metal frame, it's kind of sharp. So every time I grab it, it feels like I can feel the, this boundary of the metal frame and the plastic, and I can that digs into my palm. And I don't feel that with the regular Galaxy S20. It feels seamless, and it's like basically the way the glass back matches the metal. It seems like it's almost kind of fuses into the metal, so which is not the case in the Fan Edition. I mean, you can really feel the difference between the metal frame as well as the the plastic where it meets. So that's a like a very minor nuances. Then there are a few things that I observed. So this is $400 cheaper. So the quality of the packaging was not that great. The included charger is not the same capacity. It's not the 25-watt USB-C to USB-C charger that you get with the regular Galaxy S20. You also don't get the USB-C AKG headphones that you would get with the regular Galaxy S20. On top of that, there were a few other compromises like with the regular Galaxy S20, it does come with a pre-installed screen protector, which is compatible with the in-screen fingerprint scanner. Uh, the one on the Galaxy S20 Fan Edition seems like they didn't, it did had a screen on top, like it did had a plastic screen protector on top of it, but it was not aligned properly and it was really cheap. And I think it was only meant for packaging the phone and not for daily usage. So I had to immediately, rip it. I had to take it off and then had to, go buy a tempered glass screen protector. But thankfully, this phone does have a flat screen. So finding a tempered glass screen protector wasn't that hard. Actually, I used the tempered glass screen protector from the A51. And as you can see, it fits almost perfect. Now, honestly, I don't know why anybody would want to spend $400 more to get a regular Galaxy S20 unless they want a smaller phone with a more premium build quality, 8K video options. Now, for me, the S20 Fan Edition seems to be the flagship killer. So Samsung did whatever OnePlus couldn't do, and I think it's Samsung's way of flexing their muscles and saying, "Hey, we are capable of putting out a flagship level phone at a very affordable price, and if we can, we are capable of making a $2,000 flagship phone. We are also capable of making another a $600 flagship phone, because we are Samsung." It's also weird because this phone, the S20 Fan Edition, kind of sabotages some other phones, Samsung's own products. Like if you look at the Note 20, the regular Note 20, why would that cost about $700 and this costs $600? So why would you pay $100 more just to get a Note 20, which doesn't have a high refresh rate screen, which doesn't even have a expandable memory? All you get is just a stylus. But otherwise, in terms of specs, these two phones are identical. Same way, like I don't know why anybody would want to get the other regular S20, like S20, S20 Plus, or even the S20 Ultra, because the price difference between the S20 Fan Edition versus those are so high. And overall performance of this phone in terms of camera, processing power, battery life, wireless charging, IP rating, everything is at least equal or slightly better on the S20 Fan Edition, except for missing out on the 8K video recording capability and that premium finish, like the glass back premium finish. So overall, I think this is going to be one of the most valued bang for a buck kind of a product this year for 2020. So I think hats off to Samsung for being able to make it harder, and it's going to make it harder for the competitors, especially like OnePlus as well as Google. Google Pixel 5 just launched at $699. You just get a 7 series processor. So it's no match to the 8 series processor and all the other bells and whistles that you are getting with the Samsung S20 Fan Edition. So for me, this phone is absolute winner for less than $600 price category, or even less than $1,000 price category. That's all, guys. That's pretty much everything for this video. Hopefully this will help you to make a decision as to which device you want to buy. So if you find this video helpful, don't forget to hit the like button. And if you have any comments or questions, do leave them down below and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Also, help me by sharing this video with your friends and family, and also subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Till then, healthy, stay happy.